I'm a wooden spoon, lead paint, no seatbelt, no car seat, no bike helmet, bed of pickup riding, garden hose drinking, survivor. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Akorn, and today is Friday, which means it's time for Gen X and Millennial Memes, where we remember all the things we didn't even know we forgot about. We have some good memes and memories today, but first, here is today's pop quiz. What brand of jeans featured commercials with a deep voice narrator saying, "You got the look"? If you think you know, drop it down in the comments. Then stay tuned as we'll give the answer later on in the show. Your mom thought you were riding your bike around the block for 8 hours, but in that time you went 5 miles away, explored an abandoned house, jumped over some garage roofs, attempted a Ouija board, built a den in the woods, and made your own fire. Yeah, back in the days when kids spent far more time outdoors than indoors. Every 80s kid knows the agony of getting branded by one of these seatbelts on a hot summer day. Yeah, most of the time because we sat on them, because they laid in the seats a lot more than we ever wore them. You must be from a small town if Friday night meant driving back and forth on the same street for hours. $1 worth of gas was enough to cruise all the food joint parking lots over and over again, till we got dizzy, then we quit and went home. I think this is more or less true for most towns in that time. If Star Wars was released in 1987 instead of 1977, fact check true. Chicago-born Pope Leo has the opportunity to start off his papacy with the best line, "We're on a mission from God." What do you guys think? Is that what he should have started with? Let me know down in the comments. How many of you guys remember when Kmart, Target, and other stores would have parking lot clearance sales, just like this one that you see here? Just once, I'd like to clock out from work by sliding down a dinosaur. What do you guys think? Would that be the best way for clocking out of work? The biggest glow down the world has ever seen. At some point in our childhood, we've all been here. This is true, but not nearly bad as that. Mine was only a partial. How about you guys? Did you all get the full use of the surface area on that burner? I feel like most of us probably just got partials. Look, I'm not saying kids today don't have it tough in school, but we had to chew these and everyone knew who didn't brush their teeth. Name a movie or TV series that has to do with school. I'm gonna take the easiest one, and that's The Breakfast Club. What other movies or TV shows do you guys remember? How many of you guys remember Mexican jumping beans? I wanted some of these for the longest time when I was a kid, although they didn't come in the little fancy containers. Who remembers these vent windows? I remember and miss them. Well, I don't miss them too often. I still have vent windows on my truck. Now if I can only get the fuel pump fixed. This was all you needed for a birthday party back in the day. Yeah, that's very true. And if it was a fancy birthday party, someone might have even brought some of those birthday whistle things that they had back in the day. Do you guys know if they still make these? Here's to all of us who grew up watching Mel Brooks films and aren't easily offended. What do you guys think would happen if some of these films aired for the first time today? Drop the name of the film and what you think the reaction would be down in the comments. In the 80s, even our pets went hard. Childhood memory number 261. Being hit in the shins by these bastards from hell. You know, I don't think we all enjoyed these enough. They could have at least made the points a little sharper. That would have made for certain that we always carried those memories. Raiders of the Lost Ark was made in 1981 and took place in 1936. If they did a remake next year with the same time gap, it would take place in 1981. Yeah, we're that old. Actually, this isn't correct. It actually took place in 1980, which is even worse. Can someone rewind me back to my childhood, put on some cartoons, and give me some cereal? A lot of good mornings that way. Parents in the 80s. Don't watch that movie. It's too scary. Also, parents in the 80s. Let's go to dinner. And we were happy to go, too. Gen X are just 40 to 60-year-olds who look 30 to 40 years old and feel however old the moment and situation require us to feel. Generation X, as young as we've ever been and as old as we're ever gonna get. Well, I guess we're still young at heart, but most of the time, I think our bodies disagree. They never canceled a concert because they lost their voice. Can't argue with that. Back when your game took 10 minutes to load and you were grateful. Yeah, how many times did we sit there and waiting for it to load, only to end up with error messages, so we'd sit there and do it all over again. Sometimes you take out the disc, look at it, put it back in, and we'd keep doing it until it finally worked. Same way with the original Nintendo. Same way with some of the other old game systems. It's just how it was back then. Cigarettes are like squirrels. They're perfectly harmless until you put one in your mouth and light it on fire. Well, they're not wrong. Today's pop quiz question was, what brand of jeans featured commercials with a deep voice narrator saying, "You got the look"? The answer is Jordache. If you got it right, you get 100 points. A+. How many of you guys remember the Blockbuster Rewards card? This is something I actually don't remember. Must have been toward the end of the era. Growing up, I really thought that quicksand would be more of an issue. Yeah, I can agree with this. It seemed like no matter what kind of movie or TV show you were watching, eventually, quicksand was somehow involved. After I graduated and got a real job, this was my first real car purchase. A 1965 Chevrolet Impala Super Sport. A 396 with 425 horsepower. Won the B-Stock trophy at KCIR once. Nice looking car. Stop what you are doing. Go to the O'Reilly Auto Parts website. No link provided. I want you to Google it. Once at the website, enter part number 121G into the search bar. Now, once you look it up and see what it is, come back here to the video and answer this question. If you were given the choice between $10 million in cash or what that part fits, which one would you take? Drop your answer down below. We didn't need apps to stay connected. We just knocked on the door and said, "Can you come out and play?" I seen another meme about this the other day. Apparently nowadays, knocking on the door is just something that old people do. When I'm invited to go out past 8 p.m., it's not party time, it's sleepy time. Or at least sit back and relax and call it a day time. 80s trauma six-pack. Me interrupting my parents' heated argument to tell them about my favorite Capri Sun flavor. When your probation officer comes over. Gotta make sure you get the laser background and the windbreaker right though. What's your favorite? I would have to choose Red Hots and Atomic Fireball. Name a vampire that isn't Dracula. The best one, the Count on Sesame Street. It might not be safe, but I bet they all still remember it. Well, I guess that's one way to keep the kids entertained, and you don't have to hear them asking, "Are we there yet?" As a father sees it, as the child sees it, as the mother sees it. I tend to agree with this. What do you guys think? Do you think this is true? Even back in our day? Taylor Swift writes whiny songs about all her exes. Stevie Nicks made her ex play guitar while she sung songs about what an he was. I think that's a pretty great generational comparison. I'm at the age where too much noise irritates the heck out of me. I have to admit, that is true at times. I even turn off my window AC sometimes because it just makes too much noise. Whenever I'm getting ready to leave the house, I'll turn it back on so it'll cool the house back down. As a kid, I literally thought these would replace dogs at some point. Never thought that, but I do remember when they gained popularity there for some years. You're old school if you know what this light coming on means. I'll never trust what's in Hamburger Helper until the fifth finger is found. You know, now that I think about it, how did I never even notice that before? That actually sounds pretty good right now. Me, a horrible parent, telling my child the end piece on the sandwich bread is the same bread, and totally fine, when I know in my heart that it's not. You always save the heels of the bread for last. The reason being, as long as you leave the heel covering the first slice of bread, it keeps the rest of the loaf from drying out nearly as quickly. Who remembers pull-down maps? Pull-down maps? Globes? Paper maps? Who remembers taking the tests where you had to write in the names of every state, or where you had to write the names in of different countries? Today, with a lot of these college-educated kids, half of them think if they go to Hawaii, they're going to a different country. And I'll end today's show with this. If you see me talking to myself, just move along. I'm self-employed. We're having a staff meeting. It's probably true. I'd like to thank all of our channel members for your support. If you would like to become a channel member, click the Join button down below the video for details. Before I go, just a short channel update. As you all know, I published the Best Of videos for both the Gen X and Laugh While the World Burns series for the last 2 weeks. We had some things going on, and as many of my subscribers know, I have several health issues. And I'm having to deal with that more. So I just wanted to drop this note that there may be some weeks ahead that I'm just not able to get a video done for that week. As a matter of fact, it might be even this coming Sunday show. However, if I know ahead of time, I will try to drop a note in the posts section here on the channel's main page. Which, by the way, YouTube has given me access to a new feature. I don't know if this will be permanent or if this is still in the experimental stage, but as of the moment, all of you who have been subscribers for at least 1 week, I think it was, you can now make your own posts here on the channel. so feel free to check that out on the channel's main page. I believe it is also under the Posts tab. I also want to thank all of you who watched this video to the end, as it really helps to support the channel. If you want this series to continue, then please share these videos with your family and friends. Please consider hitting that like button, and if you haven't already, smash subscribe and click that bell to receive all notifications. And this brings us to the close of today's show, but I'll see you guys back here on Sunday's show. Until then, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this weekend. This is Akorn, over and out.